Rambo Last Blood came out in theaters this past weekend, so now it's time to talk Simply Cinema. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema, and today we're going to be reviewing Rambo Last Blood. But before I give me my thoughts, I'd love to hear yours down in comments below. Let me know what you think of it. Was it good, bad, or somewhere in between? What's the satisfying conclusion to the Rambo franchise? And before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you're new here, because we love talking movies here at Simply Cinema. But without further ado, let's begin. Rambo Last Blood is the concluding chapter in the Rambo franchise, where John Rambo, a Vietnam War hero, has taken the liberty to find rest, living on a farm, living with someone that he is connected to and basically called family, and with Gabrielle, a daughter of the woman he is staying with. When Gabrielle seeks out to find her father in Mexico, she ends up getting kidnapped, and therefore Rambo chases after her and find her and kill those that took her. And with the positives, Rambo is just really good in this one. It's a strong action movie. Once again, it's gory, and Sylvester Stallone has another chance to shine for the last time in the Rambo franchise. And it's just really fun. There's a ton of action. There's a ton of reminiscing to the original and references to the original, and some of the older techniques that he used, because he's a Vietnam War hero and not always using them. But of course you still get some of the modern gunfighting. And what this film does a little different is it breaks away a little bit from the other style and storytelling of the original, because you get some of the family elements of him being essentially adopted into the family, taking care of Gabrielle, living with that woman. And that's just where it's really fun and sentimental. You get the slow moments with that, but it's ultimately really quick the way the story flows. It has a lot of great visuals and cinematography, and what I also really love is the music. They had diverse music throughout the movie, yet it always works really well with the mood they were trying to set. I always really like that. And then with the tunnel scenes they added in, especially near the end, but also in the beginning it was just epic the way all of the action played out. Also, with the storytelling it takes on, it has a little bit of the elements of both Taken as well as Logan from the X-Men series, and I've also heard other people say it's like a rated R Home Alone. But it's just really fun in that, with the regards to, it has those good elements. I really like Logan, I really like the Taken series, and the way they incorporate it into the story, having Rambo in placement of those, is just really fun. And I really would say this film really got me emotional and teary-eyed, especially some different parts in the middle, some in the end. I was super tense in some of the action scenes that just really grabbed onto you and just really shook you because of how intense the action was going on. And near the end, and especially in the credits, they really gave credit to all the past movies. It just really got me. Moving on to the negative elements, some of the things I was mixed on was the fact that most of the central point was on Rambo. Some of it was a little bit on Gabrielle and a little bit on the bad guys. But for the most part, it felt like it was a movie for Rambo, which makes sense because it has his name in the title. But it felt like we could have gotten a little bit more story behind Gabrielle, behind the woman he's with, and behind some of the villains, giving them reason and intention with where they're going, and like just giving them more screen time to really see their character come out. Although I felt like the story flowed at a pretty good pace, it was a little choppy at sometimes, especially more near the beginning, because they left Rambo in a situation concluding from the fourth movie that he was resting now. He was finally not in a position of fighting, because that's what he was trying to live the rest of his life at. And then when they try and transition and bringing him back into the fighting stage, it just makes it feel like a little bit less of a Rambo movie, more near the beginning, because you're not getting him fighting right away. You have to give him a reason to come back into the battle and to fight others and to kill others. So it just feels a little bit different in that regard. And it didn't necessarily have lackluster fighting and lackluster action from Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, but overall it was just a little bit softer with the violence near the beginning. But setting those negatives off to the side, you get a really fun, entertaining movie that with lots of action, lots of emotion that really just grabs onto you and makes you tense with all of the action that's derived from this film with Sylvester Stallone as Rambo, and therefore I have to rate it simply 9.1 out of 10. And those were just my personal thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. Was it a good conclusion to the Rambo franchise? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, make sure to check out some of these other videos, and subscribe by clicking that middle icon. And I'll be back for more movie reviews, rankings, and more.